gonna put the first coat on the wheels today. Then got a 6-hour cure time. Really, I think it's about 3. I'm just gonna let it sit, but just to make sure, let's see, it's 6 o'clock. I could put another coat at 9. I may or may not, I'm not sure. If I don't feel like it tonight because I'm doing other work, then I'll just do it tomorrow. So first thing we gotta do is surface prep, which is, I've showed you before. Just want to focus. There we go. It's Carpro Eraser. So let's just give this wheel a quick wipe down, and then we will open up the coating together and see what it looks like. So let's just get any last dust or anything off. The wheel's looking good. Car's looking amazing. Man, this stuff smells so good. I don't know what it is, but it smells good. So I probably should turn it around just to get a decent wipe on the spokes. You know, I could just about get him from back here. I might not be able to get in the front of them too well. Yeah, everything's pretty clean though. It feels good. All right, got the wheel all wiped down, surface prep. Looks good. So let's open up these things together, because I want you to see what it is, because I don't even know what it is in here, or what it comes with, I should say. The little thing is tight. All right, so first is the coating itself. Dlux. Comes with a foam applicator and a few of these little suede microfiber towels. See what this is. These are some little reflective pieces that I honestly have no idea what that's for. I really don't know. Maybe it said in the instruction manual. Maybe it says in the box what it's for. All right, so this kit did not come with gloves. So I'm gonna get a couple of gloves out from my drawer here. Make sure you wear gloves. Now, I did look in the instruction manual just because I was curious. This says allow to cure for 1 to 3 hours. So I was gonna wait 6 or overnight, but maybe I can get away with just like waiting a couple hours and then come back around 8 o'clock and apply the next coat. That way I can just do the gliss tomorrow and then put these wheels back on and maybe get to driving it. Today's a Monday, so maybe driving it by Wednesday. That'd be awesome. So I'm not gonna use the foam block, I don't think. I might just put it directly on these, and just to be able to, you know, wipe it all in there in different areas. What I'm gonna do actually is turn this around, because I am going to do the inside first as to kind of learn this, because if there's a spot that I want to learn on, just make sure it's not dusty, it's just black, you see everything. If there's any spot I want to learn on, it's somewhere in here. You know, I might actually do it right here, because you'll never see that if I mess something up, you know, to more test the coating out. Got my gloves on, got this open. Also grabbed 2 Obsessed Garage coating removal towels. I went through almost 10, this would be 9 that I went through between doing the car and this, so I definitely need to order some more, as I love those things. So let's open this up, and we're gonna try a little test spot. Now the Adams, I've used Adams coating, I've used G80 CSL. Those smell very different. This one almost smells like Adams more so. So I'm just gonna dribble a little bit on the pad here. And the reason I'm using this is because Yes, I could use the foam block, but how would I use that when it comes to, you know, the spokes and everything? Like, I don't even know that's possible. This one feels maybe thicker, wants to grab more for sure. We'll put that down. Can't see it all that well. Might need to get my light. Let's see if this will help. Kinda. I mean, I see it on there. You know, different light temperatures may make a difference. Yeah, that helps me. So it says flash time is 1 minute. I don't know what it's going to look like when it flashes, but I mean, it almost looks really good and smooth in there, like where you don't even have to wipe it. That's what's crazy. It just makes it look like a little bit more wet and glossy. I'm just giving it a second. I could always try a little piece on the inside right here as a test piece. I'm doing this all in real time so you can see. I'm not editing or anything, skipping these steps. So I'm just kind of lightly wiping. So let me put this down. Can't really smell it. Maybe that's it. I mean, it feels slick. Yeah, when I wipe it off. So let's do a part of the inside of the wheel. What I may do, I'm gonna try and put that closer for you. That where are you? I'm gonna try and put the camera closer. All right, I brought it in a little closer so you can maybe see a little better. Trying to bring it where the light will catch as much as possible to where we can see. All right, so I'm going to put some more on the inside of the wheel barrel. Let's start on the inside. This all the way around. These wheels, man, you almost don't have to, it's like you almost don't have to wipe it. I know you just want to level it off, but it's like, let me see if this little foam applicator will kind of help make it easier. Maybe it will on here, on this part. So maybe that's a smart thing to do. You know, so I'm holding the foam applicator, which is how I guess you would do a lot of Carpro coatings on the actual car, and apply it like this. So I'm just holding it and spreading it around. It's very sticky, feeling like it grabs a whole lot more. I can tell. So I've got about 3/4 of the wheel coated. I don't think you can see the difference there. I can see it. It's just a nice shiny black. It's not really like, it says a minute flash time, but it's not really flashing. Sure is tacky though. It's almost like a glue. Like it's very sticky. I could see this being a lot harder to do on the actual car. If it was sticky, I would probably work in a very small section, you know, because in here you're not going to really see very much. So I'm gonna just start leveling the very inside because I know that inside strip has definitely been a minute. I'll work my way out. So, yeah, I can't really tell from where I wiped it off. Maybe slightly, but so far so good. So far, so good. Easy so far. And I really thought this would be a challenge, man. It's tacky. I could just feel it. It just grabs this towel like you gotta actually work it. I really thought it would be a lot harder on these black wheels. I was worried about that. I've never used a Carpro coating in there. You gotta be careful. See these little rollers? Man, hate that. They're gonna mess up the rim, you know? Even guys who are particular like me make mistakes. So as you roll in these rollers, it tends to slide some. That might be the only negative to it. Just making sure I get it all. All right. So that is coated. I don't know how much I could actually zoom in for you. You can't, probably can't tell a whole lot there. But I'm really liking what I see so far. It's pretty slick feeling. I feel it on there. Now what I might have to do is use that little, yeah, because I feel it slick here. There's a little rim down in there that I need to get. Then I'm gonna get all the back of the spokes and everything. So I may have to kind of freehand that, you know, not use the foam block. It's not gonna fit in there. So let me just put a little bit. Seems like not much comes out on there. That's okay. So there's this little rim on the inside I'm doing. It's right behind the spokes. It does collect a lot of brake dust in that little rim. Then I could use the foam block to get on the back side of the spokes because they're pretty flat. So yeah, all of this. I really think this is going to be awesome when it's all done. So that gliss is just giving you that hydrophobic glossy layer after. It's not any, as far as I understand, just reading it, it's not any type of ceramic. It's just a slick top coating. It's adding slickness because this is, so when you have wheel coatings, I do know this, the wheel coatings are much thicker. It's because you want some durability. You want them to last. A little harder to put on, but you know, your wheels go through the harshest part of anything between the brake dust and the weather. And then you have to use harsher chemicals on them to clean. I'd be curious to know how good these are on, like, on actual paint. You know, if you did it right, because it's so thick, it would probably last long. It goes on so smooth though, like I don't know how you'd get a high spot really. On this one, this black, it just seems so easy. Like I don't see anything, it all looks awesome. So I'm gonna get all inside the spokes from the other side, from the front, as I do that. So that'll be a little more of a challenge. All right, backside's done. Let's flip it around. This dark bottle is hard to tell where it's at. I've barely used any. The negative is probably can't save it and reuse it because it's gonna be bad by the time I would need to coat wheels again. I'd have to like use it right away on my wife's wheels. Do all about the lugs, and I want to make sure I get the just want to coat the floating hubcap. Cool little touch. I do like those. A lot of people like them. I sure hope it makes these wheels easy to clean. Now I'm not gonna sit here and coat the other ones live the whole time and make you sit through that. Probably just do a little montage, fast forward through it. So I'm gonna take this in steps. I did all in there inside the spokes. I mean, you really can't see much on there. Like I feel it on there, but I don't see it flashing. So when it says allow flash time, I don't see any rainbowing or sweating. You know, like CSL sweats, the Adams one rainbows. And maybe just because I'm in this air conditioned spot, it just takes longer. So like I'm looking right now and I really can't even see anything. Maybe a little smear. Yeah, I can see it smeared a little bit, so you're just kind of wiping that off. They look great, all done and super clean though. I really thought this would be a much harder coating. I've watched Matt's videos on Obsessed Garage for this. A couple others just on YouTube. I've just watched some videos on this particular product, and I really thought it would be harder. So far, so good though. Well, I really hope the first time that I clean these things, I just like blast them with the pressure washer and all the dust comes off. That's gonna be so cool. If that's the case, man. That's being a little hopeful. Hey, if it just saves me a little bit of headache, it's worth it. Plus, I'm gonna look really good. Where is... It's a little dust. All right, let's coat the rest of these spokes and we'll be done with this first one. Now I do have those mushy suede, micro suede blocks that I use in the car. that you've seen, if you watched that video, maybe those would work in here where you could smush it around. You know, you know what? For fun, I might try one, because this foam block's not going to bend. I don't mind the little these I'm talking about. I really like these. Maybe I can get it all in there. Looks like I would be able to. It might wipe some of it off. I'm gonna stick with the little. Stick with the little micro suede applicator. All right, so let's start. I always pick a marker to start, so I'm gonna use the stem, the valve stem, so I know when I go around. So let me do this first. I think I'm gonna come back at the end and hit the brushed front end finish. Get a little lower here just to make sure I could see it. Hopefully you can see. It might be hard to see that I actually am applying something. These coatings are all kind of like oily, and if you've never used them, it's like almost like a thick WD-40, and I need to be careful where I'm turning, because I could see my hand prints on the tire with coating on it. I want to be careful with that, because I don't want to coat the rubber to where the dressing doesn't stick. Maybe I should have put tire dressing on it first. So I'm gonna get half. I'm gonna add a little more coating here in a second, because I'm just surprised it's hard to tell, you know, actually applying it. Which is funny, because the CSL and all, I can tell everywhere on that. Add a little more. Then this one, you know, takes a little while to do, so I'm immediately gonna start wiping when I get back around to the valve stem. These are pretty. This is the back wheel. It's a 20-inch wheel. You know, I love the car as it is. I think the first thing I would change, which is not what most people would say, probably is, I would just have 20-inch wheels all around. One of the only reasons, two reasons, I've looked at Edelweiss wheels, priced them out. Number one, I like the way they look. They're made specifically for this car. Offset and everything. Number two, they're 20s all around. Number three, they're just much easier to clean, it looks like, because less spokes and such. All right, so I wiped all in the spokes everywhere. My fingers are kind of covered in coating. I'm actually going to get a knee pad here from my little detail cart seat. Start just kind of wiping off. Yeah, it's a very tacky feeling product. And you spin it from the flat part of the tire. I think you're wiping it off just to more get the excess and let it, you know, making sure it's kind of glossy. Curious to see once it cures. And then once I put the gliss, it should make it really slick feeling. Because I don't think this is made to be a slick coating. You know, I've talked about it before too. I'm trying to think of the cost. I might have spent somewhere between 120, 150 bucks, I guess, for the pair between Dlux and Gliss. So let's just round it up, say 150 bucks. You know, then you got the time to do all this. So if somebody is coating your wheels, or pricing you to coat your wheels, talking about coating your wheels, convincing you to coat your wheels, whatever it is, if they're only charging you, I'll do it for $200. No professional is doing this for 200 bucks with the right process and right coating, removing the wheels, deconning them, like all this process I'm going through. They're probably putting some just spray on it, some garbage. It might not be garbage, you know, but it's surely not a true ceramic coating. It's not gonna last. All right. I'm trying to see if I can see any little, just making sure I get in little corners. That's the big thing. And actually, if your wheels are brand new, man, you order some brand new wheels and you go straight to coating. You just slide it up a little bit so it doesn't fall off. And now I'm just gonna put a little on the actual brushed part of the spokes. You know what? For that, I can use the foam block, because it's a flat surface. So that should make it easier. Again, let me be smart about this. Oh, I gotta quit putting my fingers on the tire, man. I'm gonna have ceramic all over the tire part. Trying to get that rim right there. I'm more just moving it all around. I can see it more on the brush part. That helps make it a little easier maybe. I make the brush part really nice. Oh, whoa, whoa, almost dropped the sponge too. Man, have a blooper show for this. So be careful. Make sure I'm getting all of it. Well, let me move this back a little bit just to be safe. Get a little, spend a little dab more on my suede and foam applicator. I don't know if any of you are football fans, but man, I'm ready. Big LSU Tiger fan. They're starting this weekend. I'll be at the beach this weekend in Florida with my children. That'll be a great Labor Day weekend. All right. Looks like I got it all. And my wheels must have been pretty clean because I wiped the entire wheels with this cloth, and look, there's no dirt or anything on it. That's a good sign. I don't know if you can tell in that camera, but man, these things are just like glossing and looking good. So let's start back. I know I started with the stem area. I'm just gonna give it a light little pass and wipe. Fell right on my mat. That's good. So that's the biggest thing I noticed. You know, like when you have CSL in the paint, if you watch my videos, the second you wipe it off, it's like, it's very slick, like super slick. I actually think the CSL feels slicker than the XO. It's kind of weird. The XO kind of like almost tones down the slickness in a bit, in a way. I think. I know that's weird, but it's giving it that protective layer or 2 layers. But yeah, man, this feels really good. This does not feel slick when you wipe it. It feels tacky. Not rough, just kind of like a little friction almost. A little tacky. I think that's just because it's so thick. Man, I don't see any high spots. So I was a little bit nervous doing this because I'm like, man, I don't want the high spots on black wheels. You know, I was worried about that. Try and give you some light if you could see. So I was worried about the high spots on black wheels. You can see, you know, where I passed. I can't see anything. They just look like some clean wheels are ready to roll. Probably the cleanest they're ever gonna be. Unless I do this whole process again on them. Sometimes it almost looks like there's dust or something, but there's not. So I'm just feeling on the inside. I can see a little bit built up around my valve stem. You know, that CSL, it very much smears. So that's why you need to wipe it off. You know, you don't want to let it sit too long. This stuff does not smear. It kind of just like, the towel just picks it right up. So that's it. I'm pretty impressed so far. I love the results so far. We're gonna see how easy coat 2 is. I'll come back for that. And then the coat of XO, listen to me, I'm not using XO as the top, I'm using Bliss. I'm used to using XO. So far so good. I'm gonna do the other 3 and I'll be back for the second coat. So I'm excited about this. We're almost at the end. All right, so that finishes coat 1 of Dlux. So if I look at it, it's hard to see in there, but I've got half the bottle left, like exactly. So it'll be just enough for a second coat. So just some initial impressions I want to before we move to the second coat. I'm actually gonna wait till tomorrow because it's almost 9 o'clock. So I don't wanna get started again yet. Weeknight, got some things to do, but this is way easier than I thought to apply. Very different now, it's much more messy. If you have to have gloves on, I feel like it was just getting all over the little applicator pad because you have to put it in everywhere and a little suede and all that. So definitely a different feel in the application process. It's if you let it sit for that full minute, it's going to be very sticky. Like you really got to work it to get off. To get it off, it's it grabs your towel. So that being said, though, it doesn't rainbow or man, I don't see any kind of high spots. It just looks awesome. So much easier than I thought, and I'm really loving the results. So can't wait to get the second coat, then that gliss.